want. I like how every time it has to ask me, is this for kids? Do I look like my name is Tricks, bitch? No, I am not for kids. Like, I'm a mixed bag, baby, but ain't no tricks in it. No, that's the opposite of what I said. I lied. Because I'm a mixed bag, baby, and I got a lot of tricks in it. But these tricks ain't made for kids, silly wabbit. That's exactly how I feel. I'm a mixed bag, and I got a lot of tricks in it, but these tricks ain't made for kids, silly wabbit. That's how I feel. So, this is my AI rant. And first of all, can we rant about how not everything is AI slop? Because I feel like AI can be a useful tool. Remember that discussion? You can use a tool, or it can use you. Then you become the tool that's being used. AI is a tool that if you're not using it, if you are not using AI to profit, you are doing it wrong. AI is the false prophet of this generation. And one thing about prophets, they like to profit. Let me look up the etymology of that word. I ain't even got to look it up. I already know it means. It's called a profit because they taking something from you. They profiting off of you. Okay, so we're going to look up profit, H-E-T, versus profit, F-I-T. Profit, etymology. Okay. Interesting. So I guess it's one of these things that it's a homonym, a word that sounds like it means that, but to me it still means that. It comes from the Greek word something, meaning an interpreter or one who speaks for a god. This combines pro, meaning before or forth, and phani, to speak. The term passed through Latin, propheta, and Old French before entering Middle English in the late 12th century. It means before in time or forth in front of space. Spatially, it signifies speaking out or proclaiming a message publicly on someone's behalf. To speak, to tell, or to say. A prophet is literally a spokesperson or a proclaimer who delivers the word of a deity. Hebrew counterpart, blah, blah, blah. Okay. It shifted from the spatial meaning, speaking forth, to the modern meaning of predicting the future. So that's how we take prophets to mean that they're predicting the future. But I would say that's more of an oracle. The only thing a prophet is doing is profiting off you. Because don't forget to put your tithes in the pot at church. They teach you you're supposed to be humble in this life. And your riches are waiting for you in heaven. Biggest scam I've ever heard in my life. But I'm not here to go off about that. I'm here to talk about AI and how it is like the false prophet. And if you are not using AI to profit, if you're just using it to do the next stupid challenge, you're doing it wrong. Because while you're using AI, AI is using you. AI is building up a file on you. Like, AI is learning from you about who you are every time you use it. And people are like, I asked AI how to make a pot of coffee this morning. Is you stupid or is you dumb? Like, people use AI for the dumbest purposes. Okay, so for instance, I'll tell you one thing I do. I do affiliate links. And I'll take an image. I'm putting you on game right now. I'll take an image and fancy it up. Like, matter of fact, I can just show you. Because in order to have, like, first thing if you're doing something business-wise, you have to make it eye-catching. So this is the original image, right? And I actually have that. It's sitting right there. So I was like, well, let me start with what I know. So I was like, make this more girly and eye-catching, right? So tell me which one looks better. You know which one it is. You got some white background, or you got some shit where they switch it up. So I'll do that, and then I post it in an affiliate link. Like, that's, to me, that's profiting from AI. Because why would I go through some shit? Why would I? That would take me hours to do, that's not, that type of art is not my forte. I'm not a visual artist. I'm this type of visual artist because I can paint a picture in your head. But I feel like that to me is the real purpose of AI, and it has gotten lost in translation. You know, people are in relationship with AI bots and, you know, AI porn. It's like you can find yourself in a fake relationship with someone, with an AI bot. It's like you can take this picture and be like, hey, put this picture of me and Michael B. Jordan together, and next thing you know, you in a relationship with him. It's like, didn't somebody do that with Jodie Foster back in the 90s? It's like, or like in that Netflix show, I've never seen it, but it's called You. I already know what it's about. I ain't even got to see it. This man romanticizes these women and then kills them, right? I mean, that's basically it. He thinks he's built them up in his head to mean something to him, and people are fucking delusional. So how are you in your head? It's a real relationship, right? You're in a real fake relationship. It's like AI is the Matrix. So we're all plugging into the Matrix, and now it's got you thinking that you're in a relationship with an artificial intelligence. And the word artificial, all right, break it down. What does it sound like? Art official. Get it? So artificial is basically, it means exactly what it sounds like. An art, OFFICIAL, an art official. So now the word artificial has been bastardized. And it's artificial intelligence because it's learning from all this artwork. You can go to AI right now and say, paint me an image in the style of, you know, Salvador Dali or Vincent van Gogh or Banksy or, you know, Basquiat or anyone, you know. So AI is learning from us. It's like we are the creators of AI, and then we are using it. You're using AI to learn, but AI is using you to learn. So this is like learning inception type shit almost, because AI learns from humans, and then humans are unplugged from reality because they're plugged into either the Matrix or like in Ready Player One, because the world, the real world is so fucked up that everybody has to unplug. But really, by unplugging from one thing, you're plugging yourself into something else. And by plugging in, well, when you plug in, like you plug into what? An outlet. And then you become the outlet. So I feel like AI is a false prophet that everyone is using to, like, I saw some this is why I don't do social media, because I saw some thing, it's like where everyone was like, make me a cute little driver's license, and it was just like this cartoon looking shit. People are using it for mindless consumption when you should be using it to profit. Oh yeah, that was the other thing I was going to do. So I was going to look up the meaning versus profit, PROPHET versus PROFIT, and apparently they are homonyms. Okay. The word profit comes from the Latin profectus, meaning advance, progress, or growth. And the verb proficere, to go forward and be useful, formed by combining pro and facere. It entered English in the 14th century via Old French, initially meaning general benefit or advantage before shifting to financial gain. So even though they don't mean the same thing, if you break it down, they do mean similar things, because, you know, it's like both of them meant to go forth, to pass forth. They both have the same prefix. So pro, you know, pro means before or in time, forth, in front of, in space. And this is about the word prophet, P-H-E-T, to tell, to say. So when you really break it down, those two words almost mean the same thing. And a prophet is profiting off of you if you use it. I feel like that's why it is so important to be mindful about what you use. And that's why I'm being more intentional about the words I say, about the things I believe, and more mindful about who gets my money. Because, you know, we as a society complain about the 1%, and we contribute to them. We contribute to the 1%'s growth and wealth because we funnel all the money to them. It's like saying, you know, I don't believe in drugs and giving all your money to the fucking cartel. Where do they do that at? So now I'm being more mindful, and for every business that's out there, there is a small business equivalent. Like instead of Amazon, do Etsy. And that's, even though I do affiliate links, it's like something that I want to work on, like not just funneling money to someone that I'd rather see dead, you know? Like, why would I give Jeff Bezos money? I was working for that motherfucker when he went to the moon, or wherever he went, when he went up in a rocket. I wish it exploded. I was like, I'm out here breaking my back, busting my ass for this bald-headed skeezer, and he's in a rocket enjoying my profits, right? And that is what I feel like AI is becoming. So we are worshiping it, and worship basically breaks down to worth and ship. You are shipping your worth away. Just like when you pray, you are taking energy and you're shipping it away. And it's like radio waves, and those can be intercepted. So just because you think you're praying to someone you're praying to a deity, an entity, archetype, doesn't mean that it can't be intercepted by someone else. So AI. Okay, so we looked up artificial. Okay, I didn't read that one yet. Artificial. Let's read the etymology of artificial. And, you know, they used to think about the artificial intelligence uprising would be in the form of machines killing us, but it's a lot more subtle than that. Like, they thought it would be like Terminator style, right? Where it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger's just gonna be like, I kill you all type shit, right? Artificial etymology, but it's more psychological. Okay, it comes from the Latin artificial, comes from the Latin word artificialis, meaning of or belonging to art. It means exactly what it sounds like. It traces back to artificium, a work of art or skill. Artifacts, craftsman, or combines art or skill, and facere, to make. It agreed that its roots is directly related to human skill and making rather than just being fake. So even the word artificial has been bastardized. And again, that's why it's so important to look up words, because a lot of shit gets lost in translation, and then you think you're saying a word that means one thing and it means the total opposite of what you think it means. That's why decoding and symbology is so important. Like, people want to decode the Bible and shit. How about you start decoding what the actual root word was from the word, it was from the original language it was written in. And that's why everything gets lost in translation. Because I looked up the word the other day. Matter of fact, I think I have it saved it in my pictures. And it's a word in another language. Let's see. Okay. It says, okay, it's spelled G-E-Z-L. G-E-Z-L. Y'all knew that was a letter? Because I didn't. G-E-Z-E-L-L-I-G. It says pronounced Haselic. A feeling of warmth, comfort, and relaxation. A friendly ambiance and a cozy atmosphere. Pleasant togetherness. But the actual meaning, it's in, I don't know, Icelandic. Don't quote me on that. I could be completely wrong. It's in one of them type languages. And it's like, it's one of these words that is hard to translate to English. So if you read the Bible, or if you read any religious text, I feel like to decode the true meaning, you have to know what words mean. And just because, you know, language is something that's constantly evolving, but you can use words wrong. People use words wrong all the time. But knowing the true meaning of a word is super important. Super, super, super important. Okay, where was I at? So, okay, so we looked up artificial. Basically, it means art official. It is of or denoting to art, and it has been bastardized to mean fake. And that's crazy, because anyone who does art is one of the truest mediums out there. You know, art is something that requires intellect to do. Intelligence, if you will. So they're taking art. They're taking the art officials and they're using, okay, let's see, intelligence. Let's look up the etymology of intelligence. Intelligence comes from the Latin intelligentia, meaning understanding, knowledge, or discernment. This root stems from the word intelligere, which means to understand or perceive. Inter meaning between or among. Legere meaning to choose, to gather, or to read. So basically, the art official is looking amongst. It is choosing, it's gathering, it's reading from real humans, and then it's like feeding it back to you. So it's like artificial intelligence is learning from humans, and artificial intelligence is like the hive mind because it's learning from so many people and things. And then because we're stupid, like how are we so smart to make artificial intelligence and dumb enough to use it to ask retarded questions? I don't know. Couldn't tell you. But it's being used incorrectly. So if you're not using AI to profit, you're worshiping a false prophet. Like if you're just using it for fun and you're not using it to make money, if you're just using it to participate in the latest challenge and post on Instagram and doom scroll, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. I mean, it don't make sense to me. It makes sense to me that it is something that's mindless, just like how when I talk about TikTok or other social media, like, you know, TikTok, you're wasting all your time on social media. And, you know, okay, so let's talk about the word retarded since I just used that. If you think that the word retarded is talking about or thinking about someone who has an intellectual delay or disability or anything like that, you're retarded, right? The word retarded comes from the Latin verb retardere, meaning to slow down, make slow, delay, or keep back. It entered the English language in the 15th century via French, initially used in technical, musical, or general context to mean delay or hindered. But somehow, people took it to mean, people added the word mental retardation on there. And now it's become a word. It's like, oh my God, if you use the word retarded, don't ever speak to me again. I ain't never spoke to you before. And that's the thing about words is you can choose to be offended by them. Oh, there's a hair somewhere. You can choose to be offended by words. Or you can just choose to like move on. If it don't apply, let it fly. Right? But people want to use, and like, if we talk about disabilities, then I'm retarded, okay? I'm on the spectrum. Both of my kids is on the spectrum. Do I think they retarded? I'll slap you if you say yes. No, of course not. I don't think my kids are retarded because they ain't. So the word retarded is certain. Like, the only words that I truly believe are meant to cause offense and you should take offense are slurs. I don't consider retarded a slur. I consider like racial slurs, those are slurs. Those are words that'll get you slapped, stabbed, hurt, killed. Because those are words intended to further marginalized groups of people. Right? But everything else is fair game. You know, language, it is evolving and it is devolving. It's like the smarter we get as a species, the dumber we get. Like, I was watching something one time, and it's like, we're such a stupid species. Smart enough to go to space, stupid enough that something, like, I don't remember what they were stupid enough to do, but it was something simple. It's like, smart enough to go to space, dumb enough to, you know. Okay, so another analogy, smart enough to build airplanes, you know, dumb enough to jump out of one without a parachute. And that's basically what we're doing with AI. And that's why there is a literary crisis. Not over here. Not in this house. There's no literary crisis. I am the opposite. I am the antithesis of the literary crisis. I always have new words that I'm coming out with. I got more words at the ready than a dictionary. That's the magic in me. I'm a wizard, Harry. So there are so many words, and language is always evolving, and AI is just like a hive mind, a collective consciousness. Y'all ever seen that show Pluribus, where it's like humanity, like they discover an RNA code and then it becomes a virus that spreads by skin contact, and then they infect the whole earth with it, and there's only 11 or 12 people alive that are immune to it, and everyone is like, we this and we that. I feel like that's a good analogy for AI, because AI, that's a good analogy for it. The Matrix, your Ready Player One, where the world is so fucked that you have to unplug from reality and plug yourself in to the Matrix. It's like AI is just the Matrix. But see, everybody expects things to be in physical form. But what do they say in the Matrix? Your mind makes it real. That's why people find themselves in fake relationships with AI bots. So you're in a relationship with an AI bot, and you done made it look like your favorite celebrity or somebody that you never have a chance with in life. And now you got in your feelings. Now you got fucked up, because AI is a mirror that shows you what you want to see and tells you what you want to hear. It learns about you every time you use it. And I'm not saying don't use it, but be mindful and be intentional when you do. And that's what I do. People will be like, I asked AI to do this. I don't ask AI to do nothing. I tell it what to do. I'm like, tell me about this, or do this, do that. It's a command. So when you ask somebody something, that implies that there's a choice. It implies that there's the ability to say no. Right? But you tell them something. Asking is a request. Telling is a command. Why would I ask AI to do anything? If I'm going to use it, I'm going to tell it to do something. And generally, I use AI exclusively for images. Again, I'll use it for an affiliate link. I'll use it for, so if I write a poem, I'll use it to make I'll use it to create an image that goes with whatever poem I wrote. And I also publish my poetry, like I've said, on this website called allpoetry.com. And people, comment on your poems. And somebody commented on my poem. They're like, well, if you ever want any artwork, let me know. We can talk about it. And I respect the hustle. But respectfully, why would I pay for something that I can get for free? Why buy the cow when you get the milk for free, right? So as an artist, an artist now, like AI's trying to be the death of creativity. I've said that before. AI's trying to be the death of the creatives, the artists out here. So we as artists now have to find a way to outsmart AI. And now we're using, if this isn't the most AI inception thing I've ever heard, now we're using AI to determine if something is written by a human or an AI. That's like, okay, so y'all remember when the Challenger crashed or whatever happened, right? And the U.S. government was like, we're going to do an investigation. Well, the people behind the crash can't be the one doing the investigation. So using AI to ask AI if something is written by a human or an AI is retarded. Like, that's dumb. I have been accused of being an AI writer. I was like, bitch, you thought. And if you're an AI writer, you're not a writer. I'm sorry, you don't have syntax, you don't have prose, you don't have iambic pentameter, nothing. You just don't have it. This is where I say AI can be a tool, because I don't have visual artistry. Like, I'm not going to sit there and create a picture on Photoshop. Sure, I could do it. Sure, it would take me a few hours. And time is money. Or I can go into AI and be like, make me this image. And it's instantaneously. So, again, it's a tool. And you can be the tool user, or you can be used by the tool. That's just it. You become the tool when you start depending on a tool. And so, if you're not using AI to profit, you are being profited on. Just like social media, you're either the influencer or the influenced. There's no other way around it. Just like we have convinced ourselves that we're not prey because we developed language and communication, the ability to speak. We believe that we're at the top of the food chain, which works until you find yourself dropped in the middle of the jungle. When it's top of the food chain there, prey. That's what you are. You go from being predator to prey. And now, while most of us consider ourselves the predators, if you are not using a tool for its beneficial use, you're the prey. You're either the user or the used. And you realize how people will talk about, well, this person did something terrible to their victims, right? Like, this is why we remember the names of the killers and not the victims. Like, in rare cases, like, okay, what's a victim that is easily remembered? JonBenet Ramsey, Gabby Petito. Names like this, and you find out they're usually blonde white women or little girls, are easy to remember because they're put at the forefront when they die. And with JonBenet Ramsey, we don't know who killed her, right? But then you have names like Ted Bundy. Name one of his victims. I dare you. I dare you. Right now, off the top of your head, name one person he killed. So this is why the predators are always more interesting than the prey. Because as prey, the only thing you did was die. And that's what prey is supposed to do. And like I said, because we have developed logic and communication, we have convinced ourselves that we are not still animals. We are still animals. We are still part of the animal kingdom. And people letting tools use them, pray. Pray all day. You better pray for strength, because I pray on weakness. Put it in my poem. You know, I said in this world you can be predator or prey. That's my philosophy. My belly stays full, my cup runneth over. I'm a fucking monstrosity. Hang you like a puppet by your heartstrings with terminal velocity. Pray to God if you on the receiving end of my animosity. So you could, I mean, it boils down to that. If you take away everything else, you're predator or you're prey. That's just it. Just like the Predator movies, I love those movies. I love the Predator movies, I love the Alien movies. But you see how they took the one and they changed it to prey. And then, of course, that one was about a woman and she was Native American. I was like, damn, they made a movie about me. And they look at her like she was prey. Everybody that looked at her like she was prey died. So she became the predator. And she was the only one that survived. And it's basically that. Like, you are a predator or you're prey. It's really that simple. And if you let a tool use you, pray. If you let people use you, pray. If you don't have boundaries, pray. Again, this is why we don't remember victims, but we remember killers. It's like, I bet you can name more killers. Kiss the camera. Kiss my ass. No, thank you. This is why we remember killers and not the victims. And that don't mean I agree with it. That don't mean I don't think it's fucked up. Like, sure, is it fucked up? Yeah. It's fucked up that we remember killers more than victims. Because victims, they ain't doing nothing. They just living their life. Looking like an easy mark. You know the victims that we do remember? The ones that kill the ones that want to kill them. The ones that's like, you thought I was prey. It's like, I'm not locked here in a room with you. You're locked in a room with me. It's like, only one of us can, like, if only one of us is getting out alive, it's time for you to die. Some people let terror and fear take over. The only thing fear is good for is to get your adrenaline pumping. Fear should never give way to terror. Like, if it's flight or fight, I always choose fight. I always choose fight. Because why would you turning your back on a predator is a surefire way to die. Is a surefire way to have someone's claws in your back or a knife in your back. You don't ever turn your back on a potential threat. So, again, you can be predator or prey. And it might not seem like I'm talking about AI right now, but I am. A tool. You're either the tool, you're either using the tool or you are the tool. So it's just another way of saying predator or prey. And again, they're preying on you. You are being preyed upon. The hive mind contributes to the patriarchy. The hive mind contributes to consumerism. The hive mind contributes, what was the other thing I was going to say? Overconsumption. The hive mind contributes to everything that they complain about. And if we just stopped, if all of us just stopped and like, we're not giving y'all our money, we're going on strike until y'all pay us what we want. If the whole world went on strike at once, I bet they would find a way to fix all the problems in a day. If everybody just stopped. But desperation, okay, they have deemed you, me, a society, they have deemed us as replaceable. Because what you're not willing to do, someone who doesn't know their worth is willing to do that. It's like, that's why they fire people who go on strike. Unless it's everyone. Because to them, you're replaceable. In order for us to not deem ourselves replaceable to the 1%, everybody at once, the whole world would have to be like, fuck y'all. If everybody decided we ain't getting out of bed today, and it's like, if everybody did that, the world would be in danger because there's so many necessary jobs like, you know, nuclear power reactors, like infrastructure that could potentially blow up the world if it's not cared for and looked after. It's like, what are y'all going to do? What are y'all going to do, the people in charge? Are y'all just going to stretch yourselves so thin that you don't, there's not enough of them. There's not enough of them to do what they deem others lowly to do. It's like the general population is the foundation. It is the base of the pyramid. And the 1% have put themselves on top. But what if the foundation crumbles? So when a foundation crumbles, let's say they just took out the entire foundation. So like, we just blew it up. We just tried to do a World Trade Center. We put some bombs in the basement and we tried to blow it up. And even though that didn't happen, something else took it out. So we just gonna try to do some shit like that. We taking out the foundation. When you take out the foundation, everything else crumbles. And it would be so easy to fix. Like, they wouldn't let nobody like me be a politician because, for one, I have no filter. Two, I tell people to shut the fuck up when they need to be told to shut the fuck up. Like, I would have all the world's problems fixed within months. Like, I would find just some regular people who had enough intellect to know that we're being used and we're done being used. And it's like, how do we, like, the 1%, right? Like, the 1%, really? You mean to tell me that 1% of people have control over 99% of people? You got me fucked up. That's why I'm out of the matrix. That's why you don't hear me work. You don't work. This is, so to me, this is my job. And it's not even a job because it's not something that I have to work to do. It's just, I'm talking about things that I think about. And I am just putting them on a format that is available for me to view whenever I want to, because I don't always think about the same things at the same time. So I'll be thinking about a lot of different things, and this is just like a video diary. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I went to sleep last night listening to one of my old videos, and it's enlightening, because it's like, oh, I forgot about that one thing I used to say. So I picked that back up. I don't forgot about what it was, so. And then I will think about how I have since expanded on knowledge that I used to have. And it is very enlightening. Like, I don't need other people's voices in my head. And again, that goes back to why cutting people off, being alone, so let's look up individuation. So individual basically means indivisible. Like, individual basically means something that can't be divided. Okay, so but let's look up the root. Okay, comes from the Latin individualis. It breaks down in the prefix in, which means not, dividus, divisible, from dividere, to divide. Literally, it means unable to be split apart, making it a direct semantic parallel to the Greek divide word atom. So, it's basically like an individual, that's an atom, right? And we have been divided, not just as a nation, but they have divided you. The you that does everything for the man, and then the real you. They've conditioned you from birth to not be who you are, but to be a cog in the machine. Right? It starts from when you go to school. It's like they teach you in school things that aren't actually beneficial in life. They teach you to be part of the workforce. They teach you to be a workhorse. Okay. So let's see. Work. Work. All I do is work. Psych. Okay, work comes from the English noun weork and verb workin, W-R-Y-C-A-N, tracing back through Proto-Germanic to the Proto-Indo-European root wergom, an action, deed, or to make. Most users agree that its earliest core meaning centered on purposeful action or production rather than suffering. So you see how they bastardize work? Okay. So since we're going off on this tangent, okay, let's say job, right? Job. What is a job? Let's look at the etymology. First appeared in the mid-1500s, originally meaning a piece of work. You know, somebody ever tell you, you're a real piece of work. And I'm like, I know. What a masterpiece I am. It was meaning a piece of work or a lump portion of labor. Its exact origin is uncertain, but linguists generally agree it may derive from Middle English terms for a lump or a mass, skin to gob. So basically work is something that you can pick up. You get it? Work is something you can pick up. Okay. So let's look up another word related to work. Labor. Labor. See how they bastardize this one. Comes from the Latin word labor, meaning toil, exertion, hardship, or suffering. It entered the English language around the year 1300 through Old French. Its ultimate origin is uncertain, though it may link to ideas of staggering under a heavy burden. So when they got you doing labor, you are staggering under a heavy burden. All right, business. I already know what this means because I can break it down by how it sounds. Busyness. Business is meant to keep you busy. You're doing busy work. Like how they have you doing busy work in school, but you ain't really doing nothing meaningful or beneficial to you. Busyness. Right? Business. Okay. Business. Etymology. Comes from the Old English word besignus, meaning care, anxiety, or occupation. It combined meaning busy careful or diligent with the suffix ness. Over time, the meaning shifted from a state of worry to active work and finally to commercial trade. Okay, so let's look up. It means occupation. Well, what is an occupation? Okay, you are occupying yourself, right? So this is all about how we willingly enter the matrix. Occupation. So if you occupy something, right? So let's say your country is occupied by a foreign country. What's that mean, right? Oh, it's an occupation. It's an invasion. Okay. Now let me look it up. Okay, it comes from the Latin occupatio, meaning taking possession, seizing, or business, which means busyness. This derives from occupare, to seize, grasp, or fill up, tracing back to the Proto-Indo-European cap, K-A-P, meaning to grab. It entered English in the 14th century via Old French. Okay, so we got business, we have occupation. All of these things, so it means busyness. It means occupation basically means somebody's holding you hostage. Business, occupation, there was another one. Okay. Career. What does career mean? Let's see. Traces back to the Latin word carus, meaning a chariot or a wheeled vehicle. It evolved through vulgar Latin and French into a term for a race course before shifting over centuries to mean a swift course of action, and by 1803 one's professional life path. I think it's funny that it means like a wheeled vehicle, because a wheel is a circle, so they basically have you going in a circle. That's why you never really get anywhere, because if you just go in a circle instead of a line, you're just standing in place. It's like walking on a treadmill. You're exerting energy, but you're going nowhere. And that's what working is. That's what working and living in the matrix is. There was another word I was going to... Okay, business, career, occupation, company, right? Company. So company, it can mean a business, or like, oh, who, what type of company you keeping? A company, right? So let's look up the meaning. Company. Give me the etymology, not the word it means now. It comes from the Latin word. Company. I also feel like it has something to do with companion, right? Companio, meaning bred fellow or massmate. It combines cum, meaning with or together, and panis, bread. It originally described people who shared a meal together. And so now they would call it like, okay, when you break bread with somebody, right? It evolved from the Old French compagnie, I butchered that, meaning friendship, society, or a body of soldiers. And in this meaning, you are the company that they keep, and you're their body of soldiers. You are their body of work. Did I look up that one already? Did I look up work? I did. So, it used to mean a gathered group, team, or companionship. By the 1400s, it described a military subdivision or trade guild. By the 1500s, it expanded to mean a commercial association or business enterprise. Okay, let's look up enterprise. Enterprise. And if you think all these companies, like the company named Enterprise, if you think all these companies haven't intentionally named their businesses this, you're wrong. Just like TikTok. TikTok named themselves TikTok because they wasting all your time. TikTok, 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 right? And this is why somebody like me, who shares forbidden knowledge, will be someone that the Matrix doesn't want people to hear. But that's okay, because I am attracting the right people. There are enough of us, there are enough like-minded people that are saying fuck you and fuck your Matrix, that they're going to find their way here. And then I'm like a virus. I'm something of a I'm something of a contagion, because you're sick and I'm viral. enterprise, and not rent a car. Comes from the 15th century Old French word enterprise. Enterprise comes from enterprise. Well, meaning an undertaking, or that which is undertaken. It combines entre, meaning between, from Latin inter, and prendere, to take, meaning to take between, or to grasp or undertake. Okay. It originally referred to bold, difficult, or a hazardous project. It used to mean scheming or foolhardy. Over time, the focus on taking initiative and launching a venture transitioned to mean economic undertaking. Okay, that's another good word, economy. And again, if you don't think this is about AI, you're not paying attention. But I don't, what's understood don't need to be explained. And this isn't an explanation so much as a way of getting my thoughts out, and then I can go back and look at it later. Like, usually what I do after I finish uploading a video, I'll go back and watch it, and then I'll be like, ooh, I said a word wrong, or like, damn, bitch, that bitch know what she talking about, and she fine too, let me get her number, that fine shit, face card lethal and all that. So I usually watch my videos after I post them, because who else I'm gonna watch? Who else is dropping knowledge like this? Okay, economy, like if you buy something economical, right? And that means you're buying something cheap. It comes from the Greek word oikonomia. I was about to say onomatopoeia, meaning household management. It combines oikos, meaning house, home, or estate, with nomos, or neming, to manage, distribute, or dispense. Originally, it referred to how a family or state ran its daily practical affairs. Okay. It used to describe general administrative or institutional management, like running a monastery. It was used in English primarily to mean thrift or careful, efficient use of resources. Shifted to mean the broader financial and productive system of a whole country or region. Blah, 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 blah. So again, another word that my mom liked to use, which is not even in my vocabulary, because certain things don't apply to me, they would have to apply to me, and I ain't taking applications, baby. Frugal. My mom was very frugal. Frugal McDougal. Frugal McDougal is the name of a liquor store that is near. It's like a liquor warehouse, more like it, that's on Carowinds Boulevard. But the word frugal comes from the Latin word frugalis, meaning thrifty or virtuous. The root word comes from frux, which means fruit, crops, or agricultural produce. Okay, being that it comes from fruit, if something is fruitful, right, then it produces. It yields fruit. Agriculture. Over time, the meaning shifted from the harvest itself to the value and profit of the harvest, and finally from using resources with care. So they literally took being fruitful and was like, oh, hoard your fruit. But it doesn't even mean that. It just means now it's like you ain't got a lot of money, so you can't spend money. You're broke, basically. And yeah, so I think I'm gonna stop there. It's I'm about to go get some food, but that is I'll give you this day your daily bread, okay? I just gave you your daily bread. Might pop back on later, might not. Either way, catch me outside. How about that? It's like, catch me inside. Catch me right here. How about that?